I'm joy. This is sadness. That's anger.
What?
This is disgust. And that's fear. We're Riley's emotions.
Inside out.
Inside out.
Inside out.
Good day everyone. So here we are again on my channel, and today we will discuss about the connectivity of nervous system to our own emotions. So before that, I will ask you questions. How can you see this world without any emotions at all? How can you see yourself without happiness, anger, sad, loneliness, or even excitement? It is so hard, right? Because we all know that emotions is part of our daily lives, because we decide based on our emotions. So before anything else, we will first define the nervous system and the emotions. So here it is.
The nervous system is a complex collection of nerves and specialized cells known as neurons that transmit signals between different parts of the body. It is essentially the body's electrical wiring. Functionally, the nervous system has two main subdivisions: the somatic or voluntary component and the autonomic or involuntary component. The autonomic nervous system regulates certain body processes, such as blood pressure and the rate of breathing, that work without conscious effort according to Merck Mandels. The somatic system consists of nerves that contain the brain and spinal cord with muscles and sensory receptors in the skin. Structurally, the nervous system has two components: the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. According to the book Discovering Psychology, an emotion is a complex psychological state that involves three distinct components: a subjective experience, a psychological response, and a behavioral or expressive response. The subjective experience. Experts believe that there are a number of basic universal emotions that are experienced by people all over the world, regardless of background or culture. Researchers also believe that experiencing emotion can be highly subjective. While we might have broad levels for certain such as angry, sad, or happy, your own unique experience of this emotion is probably much more multidimensional. Is all anger the same? Your own experience might range from mild annoyance to blinding rage. The physiological response. If you ever felt your stomach large from anxiety or your heart palpate with fear, then you realize that emotions also cause strong physiological reaction, or we feel emotion and experiencing physiological reaction. The behavioral response. The final component is perhaps ones that you are most familiar with, the actual expressions of emotions. We spend a significant amount of time interpreting the emotional expressions of the people around us. Our ability to accurately understand these expressions is tied to what psychologists call emotional intelligence, and these expressions plays a major part in our overall body language. Emotions like fear and love are carried out by limbic system, which is located in the temporal lobe. While the limbic system is made up of multiple parts of the brain, the center of emotional processing is the amygdala, which receives input from other brain functions like memory and attention. The autonomic nervous system controls involuntary body responses, such as blood flow and digestion. The sympathetic nervous system is charged with controlling the body fight or flight reaction. When facing a threat, this response automatically prepares your body to flee from danger or face the threat head on.
One of the part of nervous system that affect the emotions are the neurotransmitter. Neurotransmitters are certain types of hormones that comprise of amino acids located in the brain, which it convey information from one neuron to another neuron. They have the ability to control our capability to experience pain, pleasure, movement, and our emotional response to stimuli. The most common neurotransmitter that play a role in emotion are dopamine, gamma-aminobutyric acid or GABA, serotonin, and noradrenaline.
Dopamine can make or break your work ethic. It can motivate you to work hard or hardly work to achieve some result. By studying rats, scientists noted a strange tendency. The animals were given a choice between two piles of food, a small one or a big one. The catch is that they put the big one behind a fence. And guess what? Rats with a low level of dopamine never chose to make an effort and climb the fence. At the same time, their higher dopamine-carrying counterparts stormed the fence to reach the bigger pile. Follow me, boys, over the fence! So don't forget to tip your hat to dopamine the next time you drag yourself out of bed in order to tackle the day and check all the points off your to-do list. You should also thank dopamine for that warm, fuzzy feeling of pride and reward when you complete everything you wanted to do. I'm so proud. Of course, there is a downside. A lot of illegal drugs and alcohol, as well as coffee and candy, make the body produce more dopamine. No wonder these substances are addictive. If you can't stop eating chocolate, it's not you, it's your body craving dopamine. That lets me off the hook. One more sign that you don't have enough of this hormone is slow and uncoordinated movements of your body. On the flip side, if you have too much of the chemical, you might experience too many unnecessary movements or even repetitive tics. If after learning this information, You've realized that you urgently need more of this hormone in your body. Include the following dopamine-boosting foods in your diet: fish, chicken, eggs, nuts, beans, and cheese. What about the chocolate? Serotonin. This hormone is one of the happiness hormones. Surprisingly, 90% of this chemical is in your intestines and blood platelets, which means that serotonin also plays an important role in digestive health. Its nickname is the feel-good hormone, and not without reason. If you sleep well, have high self-esteem, are generally in a good mood, enjoy a healthy appetite and sexual desire, or memorize everything easily, your serotonin is definitely at a good level. What's more, having enough of this hormone helps you multitask. People with serotonin imbalance or deficiency suffer from anxiety, panic attacks, depression, or even fits of anger. And if you constantly get stuck on certain thoughts that seem more important than anything else in the world, this is called obsessive behavior, and a low level of serotonin is to blame. To produce serotonin, your body needs carbohydrates, so eat more bananas and yogurt. Also, try to get more sunlight, as it helps your body produce vitamin D, which in turn helps with serotonin production. Just don't forget about the sunscreen. Oxytocin. This hormone is the so-called love hormone. Yeah, baby! And your body releases it when you touch someone near and dear to you, whether it be a friend, a relative, or a lover. Oxytocin boosts your feeling of love and trust, which is why being in a relationship makes people happy. High levels of oxytocin help you effectively fight stress, increase sex drive, and even lower your blood pressure. If you feel lonely, stressed, tired, or unworthy, it may mean that your level of oxytocin is too low. People with this kind of problem tend to stay at home, avoid communication, and never have the energy to meet up with others or keep up a conversation. While it may seem peaceful, this reclusive lifestyle makes people with oxytocin deficiency unhappy. They realize something is wrong, but can't quite grasp what exactly is happening to them.
When we hear the word emotion, most of us think of love, hate, happiness, or fear. Those strong feelings we experience throughout life. Our emotions are the driving force behind many of our behaviors, helpful and unhelpful. Just where do our emotions come from? Our brain is wired to look for threats or rewards. If one is detected, the feeling region of the brain alerts us through the release of chemical messages. Emotions are the effect of these chemical messages traveling from our brain through the body. When our brain detects a potential threat, our brain releases the stress hormones adrenaline and cortisol, which prepare us for a fight or flight response. When we detect or experience something rewarding, such as someone doing something nice for you, our brain releases dopamine, oxytocin, or serotonin. These are the chemicals that make us feel good and motivate us to continue on the task or behavior. In these instances, the feeling region of the brain kicks in before the thinking part. Sometimes the reactions of the feeling brain are so strong that it dominates our behaviors and we're unable to think rationally in the moment. Our emotions hijack our brain. While many of our emotional responses happen subconsciously, our thinking can influence our emotions, and sometimes this can be unhelpful. Just thinking about something threatening can trigger an emotional response. This is where we can manage our emotions with conscious thinking. Our emotions play a powerful role in the way we experience the world. Understanding and regulating our emotions through our thoughts and behaviors can help us take greater control of our brain and achieve our goals.